I said, oh, I want to go. Is it crowded? And he said, no.
That's such a big place. It's pretty hard to be crowded, you know.
Yeah, but sometimes the private ones are smaller, you know.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, no, he said wear a mask, but he said it's really good.
I'll tell you all about it Friday.
Good.
Tuesday.
Oh, you won't be here Friday?
Friday. I forgot what day it was. Next time I see you, I'll tell you what I saw.
Oh, good. This is Tuesday.
Wake up, Randy.
Sit comfortably. Let yourself, if you want to stretch your legs out, do. If you want to grab a blanket to sit on, do. And let your eyes close and just easily lengthen up through the top of your head. And just watch your breath. Feel the breath coming in and going out through your nose, and let yourself watch. Observe where your breath goes, what part of your body moves. You know, if you're comfortable to come into those 3-part breaths, you can inhale into your belly, into your ribs, up into your chest. Circle with your bodies start to as your breath carries you into these circles, let yourself just easily come into these either small or bigger circles. It depends on you. So keep circling in one direction, letting your exhales bring you forward and your inhales bring you back. Just really focusing on moving with your breath. We are going to stop to go in the other direction, so whenever it feels good to do that, let yourself reverse. Next time you come forward, let yourself stay forward, bringing your hands there to give you support. You can walk as far out as you want. Make your way forward as much as feels good for your back. Take your time. And if you can, try to let your head release so you're not tensing up in your neck, in your throat, your jaw. Ourselves back up from here. Let your hands come on out onto the floor beside you. And let's inhale both arms all the way out and up overhead. And let our exhale bring our hands down together in front of our hearts. And then inhale your hands right on up through the midline. And on the exhale, open the arms on back out and down. And now make little circles with your shoulders. Doesn't matter which way you go, because we'll go the other way, but Try not to feel like you're tensing your shoulders up, but you're just easily allowing the shoulders to circle. And when we get ready to stop and go the other direction, you stop where you choose, and then reverse those circles. Let yourself release the shoulders all the way down. are going to switch the cross of our legs, so take your time to bring your other leg in front. If you're cross-legged, you need to leave your legs long, do. Hands out beside you here now. Let's inhale both arms all the way out and up overhead. And on our exhale, let our hands come down together in front of our hearts. And then we'll reverse. Inhale the hands up through the midline. And on the exhale, open the arms on back out and down. And then let's again start to make those easy little circles in one direction. Doesn't matter which one, which direction you go. Exhale's bringing you forward. Inhale's bringing you back. Bigger or smaller, it doesn't matter. Just feeling your hips wake up and your back. We will stop to reverse direction. So again, how you do that is up to you. And again, the next time that you end up forward, let yourself stay there. Again, hands can give you a little support. You don't have to go very far. You may decide you like to fold more forward. It depends on you and your back. Take your time. Release your face, your jaw. Good. One more breath. We'll walk on back up. And let's bring our legs on out in front of us for a second and move through your feet and your ankles a little bit by circling around. Do little wiper blades if you'd rather. Just really start to feel your feet, your ankles getting a little released there. And then let's cross our left ankle above or below our right knee. If you're unable to go higher, don't do it. And then just look at your right toes there, let them face up towards the ceiling, draw your heel down, and move just a little bit forward to wake up the back of your leg here. So, not too far, just waking up back of your right leg. Feeling a release in your left hip there. And then we'll come on back up. We're going to add a twist here. So inhaling here. And as you exhale, twist to your left. Bring your left hand on around behind you. Right hand can go either to your shin or to your left knee there. And let yourself enjoy. As you come into that twist, feel your sitting bones drawing down. You can look back as far as you want behind yourself. One more breath here. And then use your belly to bring you back around into center. Let's switch the cross of our legs here. So again, how high up you bring that ankle is up totally to you. Feel the heel on the floor of your left foot. Draw it back towards you. Press a little bit into the ball of the foot. And then think of coming forward from your low back. So it doesn't mean it needs to be much. You'll feel the hamstring pretty quickly. Don't force anything, let it feel good. One more breath here. And then we'll come on back up. Take a nice inhale here at the top, and on the exhale we're going to twist to our right. So again, your left hand can come all the way to your knee, or it can come to your shin, your right hand behind you. Try to lengthen up through the crown of your head. Doesn't matter how far you look back or to the side of you. One more breath here. And then use your belly to come on back around into center. And let's stretch our legs out again briefly. Take your time, shake them out. We're going to come around towards our hands and knees. So you know, if you need a blanket, grab one for under wherever you need, under your hands, under your knees. If you need to go to fist stew, be easy here as you start to move through your cat-cows. Just really mindfully rolling through the back. Stop wherever you need. If you need to stay in a pose, go right ahead and do that. Good. And then finish off the one you're on. And meet back in neutral spine. And let's look to the right and rise our right arm up, hand off the floor, out parallel to your shoulder. Your arm is parallel, to the floor. And then if you want to rise your hand up higher towards the ceiling, do. And we're going to thread the needle now with that right arm. Coming on down and let yourself rest on the right side of your head. You can stretch your left arm overhead if you want. Let it be like it's in down dog. Or you can just keep the hand by your face, let the elbow be soft. And just breathe here. And then bring your left hand back by your face so you can press right on up to all fours. And this time the left arm comes up. Again, arm can stay parallel to the floor. Or you can keep going up towards the ceiling with your hand if your shoulder lets you. And then we're going to thread the needle with that left arm coming on down towards the left side of your head. Right hand can stay by your face so you can reach the arm up. And just breathe. Really open up between the shoulder blades on your back. And then we'll bring our right hand back by our face. We're going to come on up to all fours again. Send your right foot back behind you on the floor. Curl your toes under. And now adjust if you need to. See if you can. Then just lift your left knee up off the floor. And then go ahead and lower the left knee down. Bring the right knee back and send your left foot on the floor behind you. At first, keep your right knee down. Press into the heel there, open up through the back of the leg, engage your belly. And then when you're ready, lift your right knee up. If you can lift your right foot up too, do. You can let yourself be all the way up. And then come on down and let your left knee come back. And let's actually step our left foot all the way forward and through for lunge. So coming on into that lunge here now. Getting yourself aligned here in the length of stance that you like, aligned with that front knee. Once you get there, and you're pretty stable there, straighten your front leg out, let your right heel descend back a little bit, feel your calf, just enjoy coming in a little deeper into that calf back there. And then bend your front knee again, come back into your lunge, and we're going to switch legs for the lunge. So take your time, however you want to switch. Finding your lunge here. Feel the feet on the floor. And then straightening that right knee out, letting the left heel descend. Enjoy again, maybe a little more in that back leg, in the calf, but of course also in your front leg. And then we're going to bend the front knee again. Let's step forward from here. Come on into standing forward bend. However you need to be in that, and you know that. Whatever support you need. walk a little bit. Let yourself bend one knee at a time. Easily shifting a little bit. And then when you do come back into center, whether you need support or not, see if you can let your head hang. Good. So one more nice full deep breath here. And then we'll bring our hands to our hips as we bend our knees. We're going to rise up to standing. And inhale our arms all the way out and up. And on our exhale, let our hands come right down together in front of our hearts. So bring your chin down a little bit. Let yourself peek at your feet. Make sure you've got your feet just the distance apart you like and they're parallel. And then go ahead and bring your gaze on forward, whether your eyes are opened or closed. Coming into your mountain pose. Hands gently coming to meet there. Feel each finger, your thumbs, your palms. Feel as equal as you can between your feet. Tailbone reaching down towards between your heels. Lightness in your head. And then we'll let our arms unfold right on down beside us. And inhale both arms all the way out and up. And on the exhale, bend your knees as you come forward. Take it out of your back, coming into your standing forward bend. Let your next inhale help you find that nice, long, flat back. And we'll step right foot back and come into lunge. And inhale. Exhale into your downward facing dog pose. So walk your dog, ease your way, bend your knees at the same time if you want to, whatever helps you get into your dog. Feel the hands spread nice and wide. If you need to check out your hands, do, so they look pretty equal on the mat and they feel equal. You can feel your elbows just wanting to hug towards each other. And let your next inhale bring you on out to plank. Nice and strong plank. And then from here, lower your knees down, lift your feet off the floor, flex your feet. Kind of draw yourself towards the front of your mat a little more. And then elbows right by the ribs, lower slowly down to the mat. And from there, coming into long legs again, come on into your Sphinx pose, bringing your elbows under your shoulders. And just release here. Let it feel good. You know if you need to be lower, be lower. Feel release in the back of your neck and throat, so make sure you're not tensing up the back of your neck. And that's just a little bit of difference in where you have your chin, right? And now from here, bend your right knee, flex your foot. Don't try to pull the heel in too close. Just feel your quad. Just feel the thigh there. And then bring that right foot back down, top of the foot to the floor, and go to the left. And flex the foot. Feel your quad engaging. Good. And then come on back, down with the foot to the floor. Let's come all the way back down, and let's shift back into pose of a child for a second. Let yourself shift back, releasing still with your arms way overhead. It doesn't mean you have to go all the way hips to your heels. Good. And then come on back up to all fours. We're going to curl our toes under and come back into down dog. Reaching back through both sitting bones equally. Feel the tailbone reaching back. Feel the elbows hugging in. And we'll bring the right foot forward to find lunge. And then we'll come on back into standing forward bend. Feet hips distance apart and parallel. And be mindful of your own back. If you need to use your elbows above your knees, or if you need to support yourself with your hands on your blocks, Or perhaps, you like to hold your elbows and feel the whole weight of your torso. Go to your breaths. Just watch your breaths in and out. And then we'll let our hands come up to our hips, bend our knees, and rise on up to standing. And inhale our arms all the way out and up. And on our exhale, let our hands come down together in front of our hearts. Let's inhale our hands right up through the midline. Now separate your hands about shoulder distance apart and sink back into a little chair pose. Let your gaze be about 6 to 8 feet in front of you on the floor. Don't have to go deep. Just feel your quads. Let your weight shift a little more to your heels. Really press down into your heels. One more breath. And then rise on back up. Let yourself, if you can, look up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, bend your knees and fold forward into your standing forward bend. Let your next inhale lengthen out your spine. And we'll step the left foot back this time to come into lunge. And inhale. Exhale into down dog. Good. And once you're in your dog, let your next inhale bring you out to your plank. Stay there for a breath. And then come on back again into down dog. So now you are pretty set where your hands and feet are, so that when you inhale your way out to plank, you don't have to move anything around. Stay there for a breath. And then come on back again into down dog. And then one more time, inhale your way out to that nice strong plank. We are going to lower down. You can put your knees down first if you need, elbows right by the ribs. And we'll come into that little cobra. Now you can stay low, or you can keep coming higher and higher if you choose to. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, elbows hugging in towards the ribs. And then let's release all the way back down to the floor. Bend both your knees. Flex your feet. Feel your heels now really trying to come in towards your buttocks. And then lengthen your legs back long. We're going to come back into down dog from here, however you want to get there. And we'll bring the left foot forward to come into lunge. And then come on back into standing forward bend. Right to your breath. Easily accepting those breaths. If you're able to put your hands clasped up on your low back, do. If that bothers you, don't do it. Feel those full deep breaths coming in and going out. Bend our knees, press into our feet, rise on up, and inhale our arms out and up overhead, and let our exhale bring our hands down together in front of our hearts. Let's move through two sun salutations, really following your breath, letting your focus stay with your breath, unfolding our arms on down beside us, and inhaling the arms all the way out and up, and let your exhale carry you forward. Inhale into that nice long back. Exhale, right foot back to lunge. And inhale. Exhale into your down dog. Let your inhale bring you to plank. And let your exhale lower you down. And inhale into your cobra of choice. Exhaling back to down dog. Inhale. Exhale, right foot forward to lunge. Inhale. Exhale to your standing forward bend. Bend the knees, rising all the way up to the top. And on the exhale, we're going to fold forward again. Inhale into that long back. Exhale, left foot back to lunge. And inhale. Exhale into down dog. Inhale your way out to plank. Let your exhale lower you down. And inhale into your cobra. Exhaling back to down dog. Inhale. Exhale, left foot forward to lunge. And inhale. Exhale into standing forward bend. Bend the knees, rising all the way to the top and letting your exhale bring you forward. Inhale, nice long back. We're going to come into down dog. So however you want to get there, take your time. Spread your fingers, walk if you want, wag your tail if you want to. Just be mindful. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring our left foot forward. We're coming up for warrior one. Have your blocks handy here, actually, by the front of your mat. Get your back foot adjusted and the length and the width of your stance adjusted. Get really easy there to feel fine in your legs from your feet all the way up through your legs into your hips. And then bring your hands behind your head and clasp your hands so that you're just really easily feeling the back of your head come into your hands. You don't want to push hard. It's just a little gentle pressing so you feel like, I can support my head. Actually feels really good. You can feel how your belly and your back and your hips engage. Good. And now hug your elbows in a little more towards your face. And then see if the elbows can rise up a little. You know, so you are coming up into a bit of a back bend, but it's not extreme. And you can just stay right there. I mean, if it feels good to feel really letting your hands hold your head up there, stay there. If you like to extend your arms up, keeping your hands together, hugging your elbows in, you can. Totally up to you. Really come into that feeling of being equal between your feet, all the way up through your legs into your hips. And then equal through the sides of the body and all the way up. One more breath. Bringing your gaze back forward, releasing your arms on down beside you here now. Let's bring our hands behind us and clasp them. And straighten our front knee out. Draw this right hip pointer bone around now to square off for pyramid. If you need to adjust your back foot, do. And then start to ease your way forward. Now, how far you go with this, totally up to you. You can go a couple of inches. You can keep going to where you're parallel to the floor. Some of you may even want to fold all the way over that front inner leg, right? Totally up to you. If you want to bring your arms off your back with your hands clasped, you can do that. If not, don't do it. One more breath. We're going to release the hands on down, either to blocks or the floor. And now release your back heel so you can find a regular lunge so the heel's reaching directly behind your foot. We're going to add a twist of choice. You can do twisted prayer. You can bring your left hand to your left hip if you'd rather and roll that left shoulder up. You can stretch the arm up. Or you can bring your right elbow over to that left knee if you want to, hands into prayer. Find your twist that feels good. Good. One more breath. And then we'll release to come on back down. We're going to come back to down dog from here. Coming on back into down dog. Walk to the tops of your feet a couple of times. So you press into the top of your toes, 1 foot at a time. Really stretching your feet out. Good. And then come on back into your dog. And come on out to plank. Now, if you can, once you get into that plank, bend your right knee just a little bit so the toes still stay curled under. And then straighten it back again. And then do the left knee. And then straighten it back. A little walk. It's just a little walk. You can do it again a couple of times each side. When you've had enough of that, let's lower on down to the floor. And you decide about an up dog, right? If you want, you can come into up dog with your tops of the feet on the floor, or you can curl your toes under and come into up dog. You don't have to do one at all. And then we'll come on back down to the mat. And let's come on back into down dog from here. Reaching back through the sitting bones. Take your time there. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring the right foot forward. We're coming into warrior one on the other side. So again, you want to get your blocks handy, and you also, as you rise up, want to get your stance just a way that feels really good to you. How wide, how long. Let yourself release your arms a little bit. Start to bring your gaze forward to where you feel now really balanced between your feet. Bring your hands up behind your head. And again, at first, just kind of feel easy. You're not pushing hard with your head. You're just kind of feeling the back of your head come into your hands. Feels good. And then when you bring your elbows a little forward and you start to rise them up, it's almost like you're just holding your head up with your hands. You can feel that lift through the front of the body, especially through the front of that left hip. Feel the feet on the floor so that you think about your arches lifting up. And you can extend your arms up if you want. You don't have to. So coming into your warrior one where you choose to be. Feeling that inhale rising up the front of the body. Exhaling down the back. Nice. And then bringing the gaze forward, releasing your arms on out and down behind you, straightening the front leg. So again, if there's a necessity to adjust this back foot, do it. And then start to come on forward for pyramid, thighs lifting up. You may only want to go 2 inches. There's a lot of work going on in your legs, even if you don't go any farther forward. You can get more parallel to the floor if you want. You can fold over that front leg if you choose to and bring your arms off your back if you want. And then we're going to release, let our hands come down. We're going to find lunge from here. So letting yourself release that back heel directly behind your foot and add your twist of choice. So if you want to do left elbow to the right knee, do. If you want to bring your right hand up to your low back, maybe you want to stretch the arm up. Take your time, let it feel good. And then we'll come on back in. And let's come on back into down dog from here. Good. And this time, you're kind of on your own. If you want to do vinyasas or kriyas, go for it. You can come out to plank, move through to up dog. You may decide you don't want any part of doing those. You don't have to. You can put your knees down and rest. You can come into hip openers instead or something else that feels better to you. Really be mindful. Take your time. Good. And then we'll meet back in downward facing dog pose. And this time as we bring our left foot forward, we're headed up to warrior two. So again, you might want your blocks handy there. Adjusting that back foot, the angle that feels good for you, lining up the heels, bringing yourself into bending that front knee. And then just bring your left arm on top of your right. Give yourself a little hug there. Kind of up to you if you want to head in towards an eagle or a half eagle wrap. So just be mindful of your shoulders. Let yourself find what feels good. Feel the shoulders melting down. Good. And then allow the elbows to come down more and unfold your arms. Let your hands rest on your thighs. And let yourself for a second close your eyes and imagine you have balloons that aren't blown up yet in your armpits, right? But somebody's going to blow those up. So as they start getting bigger and bigger, that's what's going to raise your arms up. Not the tops of your shoulders, those balloons in your armpits until they get right out from your shoulders. And then turning your gaze when you get there to look out over the top of your left hand. Feel the feet pressing gently away from each other, feeling that engagement in your hips. And let's turn the left palm up, fold the right arm behind us onto our low back, and inhale, reach up towards the sky. You may even want to reach further back. Feel that huge stretch through the left side of the body. One more breath. And on the exhale, we'll come into side angle. So bringing either your left hand or your forearm down to your thigh. Look at the floor. Bring your right arm down to where it just hangs straight down towards the ground, and then it swings a little forward and back. Feel the weight of the arm. And then swing the arm up by your ear. Your pinky faces down, your thumb faces up. And press into that left arm as you open up now into your side angle, into your extended side angle pose. Making the right pinky facing down a little bit towards the floor. Imagine being elongated equally through the sides of your body. Good. We're going to come on back into Warrior Two from here. Pressing those feet away from each other. Feel the strength there in the core of the body. Soften in the tops of the shoulders. Hands are going to come down. We're going to turn our feet more parallel. You might have to adjust your stance and bring your arms out for a 5-pointed star. So think about your hands being a little higher than your shoulders and your palms facing down. Feel your feet in the floor. Make sure your tailbone is reaching down, maybe back a little bit. So definitely you don't want to tuck that tailbone up under you. Feel, you can do it. Feel what happens when you do that. Throws everything off. But if you lengthen up through the top of the head as you send the tailbone back and down a little bit, then everything feels perfect. One more breath. And then let's lower our arms down behind us, clasp our hands, take a nice inhale. And as we exhale, bend our knees and come on forward. Now, you don't have to go far here. Same as when we came in pyramids. You may decide to stay up higher. Some of you may want to fold all the way down between your legs and make your arms easily come off your back because it feels good. Otherwise, put your hands down if you need. Support how you need. When you're ready to release your hands, let them come on down. And adjust as you will. If you need to adjust your legs a little bit coming into your pose, do. If you need to bend your knees or one at a time, bend your knees. Just be mindful. Let it feel really good, like your body's just adjusting its way. And then when you're ready, just be there with your breath. Easy, full, deep breaths in and out through your nose. Good. One more breath. We'll let ourselves walk on out a little so we can walk back to that left foot. Come on back into our lunge. And make your way back into downward facing dog pose. Once you're in your dog, walk a little bit. Again, if you need to go to the tops of your feet, do. If it's after warriors, man, sometimes it feels so good to do that. And then come on back, meet in full down dog. Now, let's come on out to plank, but bring your right knee like it's coming in a little towards your chest. And then come on back into down dog, putting that foot back down. We'll do the same thing with the left. Come forward like you're doing a plank. Bring the knee forward too. And then come on back and put the foot down as you come to dog. Now, you can do a couple more of those if you want, or you can go, no way, I'm not doing those anymore. I'm going to do something else. So if you want to do something else, do it. If you feel like you want to come through for some full vinyasas or kriyas, by all means do. If you'd rather put your knees down and rest, do. Take your time. Let your body do what it really needs to do today. Good. And let's go ahead and finish off so we can meet back in down dog. And this time we'll bring our right foot forward, and we're coming on up for that warrior two on the other side. So again, lining your heels up, lining your knee up. Let yourself feel really good about getting your legs in order and Let yourself release to bring your left arm under your right to give yourself a little hug. That can be fine to stay right there. Or you might decide, I really do want to do that full or half wrap because it helps me release even more in my shoulders. And then just breathe into between the shoulder blades on your back. And then go ahead and unfold your arms, hands to your thighs. And if you can close your eyes for a second, right? Again, imagine those balloons under your arms. So that when they start to blow up, that's what rises your arms up. So just imagine them getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and your arms just float. You can start to turn your head to look out over the top of that right hand. So when it gets there, you're looking right out over the top of your hand. And again, just feel that sense of softness in the tops of your shoulders, pressing your feet gently away from each other. Feel your whole body here in your warrior two, that power and strength, but at the same time, there's a softness. We're going to fold our left arm behind us, turn our right palm up, and inhale and reach up towards the sky. Even behind farther if you want to go farther. Feel the breath coming into the right ribs. And on your exhale, come on into that side angle, but look down at the floor. Hand or forearm can be on your thigh, and then let your left arm hang. Let it swing a little forward and back, just a little, just so you feel the weight of the arm. Just feel really totally released. And then swing the arm up into line with your ear, pinky down, thumb up. Press into that right hand or forearm as you open into side angle now, so that now you are looking towards the long edge of your mat. Some of you may even want to turn to look up towards your ceiling, the ceiling, or your hand up there. Totally up to you. Let yourself be where you can. Find that length through the left side of the body, the length through the underside of the body. Beautiful. We're going to come back to warrior two, pressing those feet away from each other. Nice. Let your hands come down. Turn your feet more parallel. Adjust the width of your stance. And come back into that five-pointed star. Hands a little higher than your shoulders. Let your palms face down. Find that alignment of your pelvis. Good. So you're open across your chest. Your pelvis is aligned. Your back is all lined up. Really nice. And then from here, bring your hands down. Put your hands on your thighs as you bend your knees and come forward. And once you get forward enough to put your elbows above your knees, do. So that you're lengthened out in this squat. Let yourself find that length of the spine. So you're looking straight down towards the ground as your elbows are resting above your knees. Good. And then let your hands come on down towards blocks or the floor. Let's walk towards the right. Once you get as far as you want to go, just stay there. And just watch your breath. And then come on back through center and walk over to the left. Again, only as far as you want to go. Using blocks is fine. Holding on to the outside of your foot or your ankle is fine. And then just stay. Good. And then just come on back into center again. And take your time. Set up to stay in your pose. You may decide to stack blocks up and be with your hands or your forearms on blocks or your head. You may want to come into the traditional pose with your hands between your feet. But let yourself go to your breath. Once you get set to where you know you can release in your upper body, and you can just watch your breath. In and out. See if you can think so when you inhale and hum when you exhale. Just as easy as that. Inhaling so and exhaling hum. We're going to take our time to walk back so we can get back over to that right foot. So come back into our lunge and make our way back into downward facing dog pose. And you're on your own for these last bits here. So final vinyasas or kriyas, if you want to do any more, now's the time. Into planks or put your knees down, rest in child's pose if you'd rather. Do what feels really good. Good. And then when you're ready to finish off, finish the one you're on do. Come on back into down dog. And once you get in dog, bend your knees. Think about your belly going onto your thighs. Reach back through your tailbone. Glance up between your hands, and you decide if you want to jump or walk your way there. So coming forward however you want, towards the front of your mat. Easily coming into your forward bend. Feeling the weight of your head. And then bringing your hands on up to your hips. We'll press into our feet and rise on up. And inhale our arms all the way out and up. And on our exhale, let our hands come down together in front of our hearts. So just enjoy finding your mountain pose easily. So start with your feet. Kind of feel like you're growing up out of your rooted feet. Once you get your pelvis aligned, it's just really very quiet, at the same time very strong to find that mountain pose. And then we'll go ahead and let our arms come on down and shake out, move around however you need to. We're going to bring our mats into the wall. We've got plenty of room today, so come in with the short edge of your mat. We're staying here, so bring everything with you. And at first, get both your blocks. Good. And let's come into stepping forward enough where we can use the wall back there for our warrior three with our right foot back to the wall. So once you get your hands to your block, highest height, and you look back at your foot on the wall, you'll know if you have it too high because you won't be able to see it, right? You want to be able to see your toes facing down. You know your heel is directly back from your sitting bone. Bend your left knee just a little bit, just to give you a little bit of a break. And then if you can come into a straighter left knee, do. And if you can come up onto your fists on your blocks or your fingertips, do. And then just let your left hand, if possible, come onto your chest. Good. And then bring your left hand up onto your low back and come into that bit of a twist where you roll your shoulder up a little. If that feels like too much, don't do it. Press into the foot back there on the wall. Now come back to look down, bring your hand back to your chest for a second, and then reach that left arm forward. So you're pressing into the foot on the wall, reaching that left arm forward. If you want to do both, go for both hands, go for it. We're going to put the left hand down, we're going to bring the right foot down, and right away we're going to put the left leg up so the left foot's on the wall. Look at your toes. Make sure they're pointed down, not too high. Good. Bend that supporting knee a little bit. Let yourself just feel the hip there, the right hip supporting you there. You're really supported with the leg where you need it to be. Good, and then see if you can come up to either fist or fingertips on your blocks or a little bit higher. Bring your right hand on up to your chest. And then bring the right hand onto your low back and start to twist towards that leg, really feeling the outside of that right leg. It's hard to miss it. And then look down again at the floor. Bring your right hand to your chest briefly. And then reach that arm forward if you can. If you can't, don't do it, right? Good. You can do both hands forward if you want. Or you can bring both hands to your heart if you want. If you feel like you want to play a little bit by bringing your hands both up off the blocks, you can. Deep work. We're going to come on down when you're ready, and you can squat however feels good. Use the wall if you want. If you prefer to come all the way down, do. Let your hips release and your back. Good. And then from here, since we're all down, let's go back towards the wall with our feet. And at first, you might want to grab a block. I've got my toes touching the wall. If you're able to sit on your heels so that you have your big toes together, your heels apart, and able to sit to let your quads stretch out a little bit that way, do. If that's too much, bring a block between your feet or 2 blocks so you're not so deeply bent in your knees, and let yourself sit on that block, right? So whatever works for you. I mean, some of you might even be able to get a blanket and sit down between your heels on a blanket for a hero. That is up to you, right? But if not, it's fine to sit in that little bowl. Let yourself sit. So you feel your quads releasing a little bit, but you mainly feel this great alignment of your spine as you lengthen up through the top of your head. Very naturally. Good. We're going to come on forward, onto our forearms. We'll come on up into a little dolphin pose here. So take your time. You can either clasp your hands or leave your hands separate and let your forearms be parallel. As you rise up, heels up the wall, just be mindful. You can stay there. You can lift the leg up if you want. You may decide you don't want any part of any of that. You may want to just go ahead and bend your knees and come down again, especially if you don't feel like you're in the right place for your shoulders. So be easy. Think about releasing that space between the shoulder blades on your back and letting your head release. So you don't want to feel tension in your neck either. Bless you. So, take your time. You can go up and down, or you can go, I'm so done with this, and you can rest however you want and not do any more. Sometimes if you go up at least a couple times, though, or 3 times, it's helpful. Because you can find maybe a little something different every time. Good. So if you are going to go up one more time, we're going to be ready to be finished after that. So take your time, let yourself release. When you've done enough, you just rest however you want. Good. And from here, once you've had a couple of breaths of rest, let's come around with our legs. We're going to come into a little Janu Shirsasana. Then bringing one leg forward, which I'll do right leg forward long. Bring our left foot in, either to the inside of the calf or above the knee and the thigh. If you know you need a little support underneath that knee when you start to ease your way forward, do. So think about coming forward from your low back, right? We're not going to use a strap, so not the tension of the hands part, right? And you can rest your hands on your legs. I mean, you can reach out for your foot if you want to. Feel the heel on the ground like we did at the beginning of class, drawing it back towards you so you're engaged in that leg. sometimes, if you think about on your inhales, coming back out of your forward bend a little bit, finding that long spine, and then when you exhale, thinking of coming a little farther forward, you can kind of come in those little increments. Inhaling into the length, and then maybe on your exhale you feel a little bit of a give where you can go a little farther. Good. All right, so one more breath here. And as you come back up, some of you might get a little close to the wall, but I think we're okay. So maybe you're ready. We're going to switch to just turn our hips towards a little more towards the long edge of the mat, and let this left knee come back towards the wall behind us, right? So now you really do want to be comfortable with this left hip. So if you need support there, use it. You might want to sit up on a blanket too. But we're going to side stretch now. We're going to slide our right hand down our right leg all the way down to either maybe the ankle or the foot. And then stretch your left arm up overhead. If that's enough, stay there. If you want to release the arm down towards you, you may even want to reach your left hand towards your right toes there. So breathing into that side of the body. One more breath. And now slowly make your way up. Once you're at the top, take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, twist to your left. Just bring yourself around to release a little into that left side of the body. One more breath. And then we're going to unwind back around in the center. And we're going to switch legs. So coming in to that leg being in front at first. So the leg's directly in front of your hip. And you've got your right leg in as high as you want it to be. If you need support, use it. And then we're going to come forward. So again, this is all up to you, how far you go. Let your breath help you. Good. One more breath. And now slowly coming on up. And now again, remember we're going to draw our right knee back. If you need, use a block. Left hand comes down. And you're going to slide your left hand down. So again, this side stretch, totally up to you how far you go. You can keep your right hand on your hip or bring your right arm up. Or you can bring your arm down towards your head, towards your foot. Good, so one more breath. Slowly rising back up. And inhaling here. And on the exhale, we'll twist to our right. So again, as you come around, let it feel like a relief. more breath. And use your belly to help you back around. Bring your legs on around in front of you now. And move around a little bit, shake them out. Have your blocks handy. We're going to go down to our backs on the floor, but you might want them. We're going to do a little bridge pose down here. So once you get down, let your knees come in. Release a bit, however you need to. Happy baby, legs up, wide angle, whatever feels good. Just immediately let your body do what it wants to do. So your back feels better, your hips feel better. Good. And then bring your feet to the floor for either a little supported bridge or bridge pose. That's up to you. So getting your feet here, the distance you like before you start to think of rising up, the distance from your bottom, and let your feet be a little wider than mountain. And then as you press into the backs of your arms, whether your elbows are bent or not, you can keep rolling shoulders under as you head up. If you feel like, wow, really all I want to do is put myself down on that block, then do that. If you want to use 2 blocks and go up really high, you can. Or if you feel like you want to stay in bridge, feeling your quads working, but remember, you do not want to feel a bridge pose in your back. If there's any discomfort, adjust a little bit about your feet before you go up, right? And if you feel like staying supported sounds like the best idea ever, then just be supported on the block and let your low back release. Or if you feel better to move up and down out of bridge pose. Sometimes that feels really good, just to let yourself come up, stay for a breath, go back down, stay for a breath. Sometimes moving makes you feel better. And of course, if you're on the block and you like to play with your legs doing stuff when you're supported, do that. You can stretch your legs out when you're on a block. You can put your feet up in the air. And if you'd like to come down and do a full upward facing bow pose, you know, any of you can do the full back bend if you want anytime. Just be mindful, take your time. So that the pose feels like really like a beautiful kind of stretching release. And of course, you don't have to wait for me either, so that if you feel like you need to come down, you can come down anytime. And let your body do anything it wants to do. You know, any pose, any movement. Maybe you're like, I don't want to do anything except Shavasana, and that's fine too. We'd love to bring stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
Anybody need a bolster, let me know. The wall is there if anybody wants to swing legs up the wall or. Good. So remember, there is no right or wrong way to be in Shavasana. You just want to be comfortable. You want to be comfortable with your arms, your legs, where they are. If you need to wiggle your arms and legs a little bit to get them to the best spot, do. You want to be comfortable all the way into your shoulders, your hips. Feeling that sense of just being able to almost melt down into the ground. And just watching that wave of your breath. Whatever helps you. Keep returning your awareness to your breath. Keep your focus coming back to your breath. If that's counting or a word or a mantra that helps you come back to your breath, then whatever makes it easy. give yourself the gift of these few minutes. Allowing your body and your brain to have time to benefit from all you just did. Just let yourself completely and fully relax. physical again there, and wanting to physically move. So if your fingers, your toes, your hands, your feet, and begin the movement there, however you need to move. Just take the time. Stretch if you need to. Bring your knees in if that's better. And you know you're welcome to roll to either your right or your left side if you're comfortable to do that. And come into a soft fetal position and stay there for a little bit if that helps you, just to come back, adjust more easily. So follow what your body needs and your brain. Feel like you're ready to rise up. It feels like the next natural thing to do. You want to get comfortable when you do start to rise up, comfortable in how you're sitting. Let your eyes be gently closed and find a comfortable way to rest your hands so you feel really good and open across your chest. Come back to watching your breath. And on your next exhale, bring your hands gently to meet in front of your heart. And wishing each one of you a very joyful day. Namaste.